It's a beautiful day today and a beautiful day to read some concerning Reddit stories. And later on today when I'm editing this episode, I'm going to try really hard not to boost the audio by 15 decibels. I'm so sorry about that. At the 7-minute mark in yesterday's episode, there was a part where my voice got really loud. I did take it out of the episode, but it was so funny that I made a clip out of it. And yeah, that was a hilarious way to wake up today. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's get into the episode. Enjoy, guys. I found out that my wife had an affair years ago and she never told me. She says that it doesn't matter anymore, but I can't let it go. Wow, that's already so bad. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm sure it does. My wife, 34 female, and I, 36 male, have been married for 8 years, together for 10. We've built a good life together. Happy, or so I thought. Recently, when we were looking at some old messages on her laptop, she asked me to help her find an email. I stumbled upon some old texts between her and a guy from work. Ew. They were flirty, way too flirty. And then I dug a bit deeper. I realized that she had an affair with the guy about 6 years ago while we were married. I was so shocked. She never even mentioned this before, not even during the few rocky periods that we had early on in our marriage. When I confronted her, she admitted it right away. She said that it was a stupid mistake, that it was brief, and that she ended it because she felt horrible about it. She said that it was a tough time in our marriage and claimed that she didn't want to hurt me by bringing it up later, especially because it meant nothing, and she's been committed to me ever since. Oh, get out of here. OP, they're awful. Oh yeah, it meant nothing. Yeah, well, if that meant nothing to you, your husband must have meant even less. But here's the thing, I can't stop thinking about it. It doesn't feel like it's in the past to me, even though she insists that it's irrelevant now. She says that I'm overreacting and that I need to move on because we're stronger now, and this was years ago. But the trust I thought that we had feels shattered. Yeah, because it is OP. I'm torn because I still love her, but I don't know if I can get past the fact that she kept this from me for so long. She says it's ancient history, but to me it feels like it just happened. Yeah, because it did just happen to you, OP. Am I the a-hole for not being able to let it go, even though it happened years ago and she says that it doesn't matter anymore? Of course you're not the a-hole, OP. You haven't done anything. And I don't want to tell you what to do, but I feel like you should not stay with them. Like, what does it even mean when they say, oh, it doesn't even matter anymore? You still cheated. Of course it matters. Like, oh yeah, I've been committed to you ever since. You're not that committed. Oh, that's so sad. And whenever cheaters say, oh, it meant nothing, like, you need to remember that they chose that person over their partner at that time, and that still meant nothing. So does that mean that your partner means less than nothing? Yeah, like the top comment says, the affair to her is years ago. To you, it's recent. Right now, just happened. There's a difference. She can't control your feelings and emotions. You need time to process, and she got the audacity to say that's irrelevant when she cheated? Yeah, and the comment below that cheaters are experts at mental gymnastics. Yeah, 100%. That's so true though. Has the audacity to say that it's irrelevant. How is it irrelevant? It's really not irrelevant. You might actually say it's really relevant. Yeah, the second top comment, not the a-hole. Her saying that you're overreacting is gaslighting. She had an affair. She lied about it for 6 years. It's huge. It's life-altering. You should be devastated and betrayed. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry too, OP. That's heartbreaking. You've been trusting this person for so long, and the whole time without you even realizing it, they'd already had an affair. Get rid of them, OP. The comment below that says the first strike was the affair, the second was keeping it hidden, third strike is brushing it off like this. It's so disrespectful. How would she feel if the situation was flipped? Obviously you're not the a-hole, OP. I can't personally speak on marriage, but this is not cool. Your feelings are more than valid here. Yeah, this one too. I couldn't live with somebody who betrayed me like that. Yeah, that's so sad, but you're better off without them, OP. That attitude of like, oh, it was ages ago, it doesn't even matter. That is so wild. Like, hey, Mrs. Oh, it doesn't even matter, it's irrelevant that I had an affair ages ago. You're probably about to be single. Of course betraying your partner matters. Oh nah, no big deal. Of course it's a big deal. This comment says, not the a-hole. Her frankly disgusting reaction to your feelings proved that she doesn't regret cheating and hasn't changed at all until this day. She's once again deciding how you should feel, disregarding how you are feeling, and placing herself permanently above you. You should not let this go, OP. The person who's supposed to be your life partner betrayed you in the worst possible way and then lied to your face for 6 years without regret. Yeah, that's so wild. Oh my god, actions have consequences. I shouldn't laugh, but I'm only laughing so I don't cry. That's so sad, and of course you're not in the wrong, OP. The next one that we're going to read is on entitled people. Wait your turn. While waiting at the counter at McDonald's with several people waiting behind me, an older woman steps up beside me and lays some money down. I tell her very politely politely that I'm next and she should go to the end of the line. She then tells me that it doesn't matter if I'm next because she's going ahead of me. And then I think, oh hell no you're not. As the young cashier comes back and asks me what I want, the older woman steps even closer to me and starts trying to talk over me while pushing her money towards the cashier, saying that she shouldn't have to wait in line for a shake. I truly felt sorry for the cashier because she wasn't sure what to do. I explained to her what was going on, and then I proceeded to tell her what I wanted. When again the older woman pushes her money towards the cashier, I picked up her money and I threw it on the floor on the other side of me, so she had to go around me to pick it up. The people behind me apparently heard everything and they were all smiles as she picked her money up and left. If she had just asked me, I probably would have let her go ahead of me. But because of her attitude, I wasn't going to just step back and let her have her way. Yeah, and fair enough as well, OP. It doesn't even matter because I'm going in front of you. No, you're not doing that. Older people are so funny because some old people are so cute and they're the most wholesome, beautiful people ever. But then there are also old people that are insufferable. It feels like the luck of the draw every single time. Like, are you going to be really annoying and make my day worse? Or are you going to be an absolute delight? But yeah, good on you for standing up for yourself here, OP. Just because you're older doesn't mean you get to be an a-hole to people. And I feel like a lot of people think they do. This comment says, I would have paid for my food with the money that she kept on shoving at the cashier. The comment below that says, oh, and this nice lady is paying for part of my order. Yeah, like this comment says, ugh, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Yeah, it sucks waiting in line, which is why unless I really want something, then I tend to leave instead of waiting. Yeah, that's right, but you don't make it everybody else's issue. I don't know if people get to a certain age and they stop caring or something, but they're like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna be rude to people. The next one that we're gonna read says, am I the a-hole for telling my wife that my life would be better off without her? Well, what a title. My wife Anne and I have been married for 13 years. I'm 43 and she's 46 and we don't have children. When we first began dating, nobody could make me happy like Anne. She always seemed to know exactly the right thing to say to me when I was down, but over the past decade or so, she's really started to show her true colors, and a lot of what her ex-husband said to me about her has begun to make a lot more sense. For example, I have a very high-stress job, people bring me issues and I fix them, but when I get home 9 times out of 10, Anne just has more issues to throw onto my plate. She doesn't work, so she's free to do anything she wants to solve said problems during the day, but lately she's begun making lists of stuff that she wants me to do after I work all day. But my biggest issue with Anne is that I can't ever really open up to her about anything. Whenever I talk about something bad that happened to me, she'll either try to one-up me or agree with the person who wronged me. Last Friday, I had a horrible day. There was an enormous problem at work that basically all fell on my shoulders to solve. When I was crossing the street after work, I had a green signal and a bicycle went through a red light and side-clipped me. The cyclist yelled expletives at me and then rode away. I thought about calling the police because it was technically a hit and run, but there probably wasn't anything they could do. When I got home desperate, I talked to Anna about what happened. She listened and then immediately took the cyclist's side. I reiterated that the cyclist ran through a red light, to which she responded that cyclists aren't obligated to stop. When I told her she was wrong and I tried to put the issue to rest, she began frantically Googling laws. She found that in our state they can treat lights like a stop sign, so she began triumphantly reading the law to me loud, word for word, getting even louder when I kept trying to tell her that I wasn't interested. At the end of her spiel, she gave me this incredibly arrogant look as if she was right. I just stared at her for a second and I said my life would be better off without her. She got incredibly upset, shrieked at me until her voice was hoarse, and then packed a bag and left to stay with her parents. She texted me all weekend demanding an apology, but I haven't responded. Did I do something unforgivable here? She wants you to apologize. Oh, get out of here. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Does she even like you? She sounds like an a-hole. Like, does she care about you or what? It doesn't sound like it. And that's the most insufferable stuff ever. Like, oh, I have to be right about everything. They don't even know what happened and they're immediately taking the side of the cyclist. By the sounds of it, they don't care how their partner even feels. No, she sucks, OP, and your life would be better without her. You obviously said that because you meant it. The top comment says, sounds like you solved the problem. You said what needed saying and she left. Done and done. Do you need help on first steps about contacting a lawyer or something? Because otherwise it sounds like you got her out of your house with pretty minimal effort. The comment below that says, sounds like this was just a tiny straw that finally broke the camel's back. OP should stop worrying about the situation with the cyclist and look back on all the times that he's felt not only unsupported, but have had crap that she dumped in his lap that she could have dealt with herself while he was working. Think about the totality of the situation, OP, and then contact a lawyer, not the a-hole. Yeah, like that bit where it said she began triumphantly reading the law to me, and at the end of her spiel, she gave me this incredibly arrogant look, like she was right. Like, how infuriating is that? Like, why do you feel like you have to be right about this? Like, yeah, congratulations, you've made your partner feel like crap, and also completely unsupported. That's so sad. Like, oh yeah, good on you. You won. The second top comment says, wait, if the cyclist is supposed to treat it like a stop sign, then shouldn't it stop and yield to oncoming traffic? You who has a green light. So she's wrong and still triumphantly claiming victory? Yeah, and victory over what? Being an a-hole? Personally, I think you could have elaborated a little bit on how she sucks the life out of you, but that's me being petty. I hope the best for you, OP. Yeah, the comment below that, I came here to say this. Like, she's not even right. Why is she on a high horse? Yeah, and even if she is right, why are you on a high horse? Like, yeah, good job not being supportive. Congratulations. There's a comment that says, what did her ex say about her? And OP said he called her a colossal manipulative. I nearly hit him when he said that to me. Honestly though, if anybody deserves an apology here, it may be him. This comment says she seems extremely tiring to me. One of those people who destroy any relationship to be right. I believe her going is a blessing. Yeah, it definitely does seem like that, doesn't it? When I read this, I didn't want to jump to any conclusions or say anything rude, but yeah, definitely does not sound good. Like, they're not the actions of somebody who loves their partner. Like, they sound like they barely care about OP. And now they want an apology. Nah. And by the sound of it, OP, what you said is definitely something you really feel, and it doesn't sound like it's a new issue. From the sound of it, your partner's been making you miserable for ages. Like, if you said that to them and you didn't mean it, yeah, of course that's not good, and of course it's not a nice thing to say to anybody, but there's obviously a lot of meaning behind it. Yeah, by the sounds of it, you would be better off without them, OP. A lot of comments are saying the trash took itself out, and yet kinda seems like it. Okay, post number 4. Am I the a-hole for picking a restaurant that my step-siblings couldn't eat at? So my uncle brought me out to eat on Saturday because he wasn't here for my 16th birthday 3 weeks ago. He had to take my step-siblings, 13 female, 11 male, with us. He's not their step-uncle, by the way. He's my mum's brother. Step-siblings are my dad's step-kids. But my uncle and dad used to be best friends, but their friendship ended when my mum died 7 years ago. It's messy because my uncle still wants to see me and I want to see him, but my dad doesn't want my step-siblings to be left out, so they get dragged around. Something kind of relevant is that my step-siblings have food allergies, not anaphylactic kind. Their allergies are different from each other and they get rashes and puking and stuff from eating food they're allergic to. This has become such a focus for my dad and their mum that I don't get to eat places I like, even when my step-siblings aren't there, because it's not fair. I'm also the only person in the family, well, I think it's more of a burden than a family, who never gets to have my favorite restaurant on rotation for eating out. My dad, his wife, and both my step-siblings get their number one choice, but because mine doesn't easily accommodate my step-siblings, I can't have it. All of my top 5 are out, even for stuff like my birthday. I hate it. I resent it. I don't even have the family affection or mushiness towards them to make it easier. I just suck it up. But when my uncle was taking me, I chose my top choice, and he took us. My siblings didn't even eat. I didn't even feel bad because their needs are always put first, and they shouldn't have even been tagging along anyway. Oh, their mum was so mad when my uncle dropped me off, and dad was disappointed in me. He asked me why I chose it, and I told him it's my favorite restaurant, and it's been almost 6 years since I got to eat there because they decided I could never have it while I live with them. I told him it was meant to be celebrating my birthday, and since I get for when they celebrate me because of my step-siblings, I didn't see why I had to do it when my uncle was taking me. I told them they shouldn't have even been there. I didn't want them to be there. He was only with my uncle. His wife heard me say that her kid shouldn't have been there, and she asked me where my compassion is and where my sibling bond went. And I told her I never had one. My step-siblings were really upset they'd been forced to watch 2 of us eat, and that made their mum even more angry at me, and dad even more upset with me, especially because I didn't feel bad about it. So am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. They're trying to force you into being happy about all of this and bonding with the step-kids by being an a-hole to you? What the hell? Like, oh yeah, let's make it completely unfair. That's definitely going to make them want to spend time with them. You're so not the a-hole, OP. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. He's your uncle, not theirs. It was your birthday celebration, not theirs. Steal those little moments for yourself whenever you can. Like this comment says too, not the a-hole. This was your one time to pick a place that you liked. Your uncle wanted to honor you for your birthday. That's crazy that you can't even go to your preferred places when your step-siblings aren't there. And it's also crazy that your parents forced your uncle to include them. Good for you for finally getting to enjoy a special meal. Yeah, I don't know what your dad and your stepmom expect. And to say that you can't go to a restaurant without them, that they can't even eat at anyway, because that's somehow unfair. So they think that's unfair, but they don't think what they're doing to you is unfair. Your dad and stepmom suck, OP. Yeah, this comment too, not the a-hole. Your uncle knew what was happening. He knew they couldn't eat there. He approved of your choice. He's also probably tired of having to spend money on the other kids whenever he wants to see you. Your parents are the a-hole for forcing the situation onto everybody. Yeah, the dad and the stepmom are for sure the a-holes. OP said he is. My uncle hates being around them, but he loves me more. Yeah, you're so not the a-hole. The next one says, am I the a-hole for letting my daughter attend a Halloween party that her stepsister is being excluded from? My ex-wife and I share 2 kids. Our daughter is 15 and our son is 13. We divorced 11 years ago and share custody of the kids, a 50-50 split. My ex is remarried and she has a stepdaughter in her home the same age as our daughter. My ex and her husband have tried to make the kids close, but especially the girls because they're the same age. This has not worked. I know from my kids' time with me that they have zero closeness to her, and my daughter in particular doesn't like her stepsister. From speaking to my ex about issues in the past, I know her stepdaughter has trouble with other kids liking her, and she does get excluded by them more frequently than she's included by others. This was something that my ex wanted me to address with our kids before, but my daughter and her best friend were invited to a Halloween party. This year the kids are with me for Halloween, so she asked me for permission to go. I spoke to the hosting parent and I felt like it was safe for my daughter to go under the circumstances. My ex discovered that I've given our daughter permission to go and she was furious. She asked me why I hadn't offered to take her stepdaughter to begin with, because she learnt that I was dropping the girls off and picking them up. Then she mentioned that her stepdaughter was excluded from the party and that every other kid in their grade is included. She felt that this meant our daughter should not be attending either, in support of her stepsister. She tried to forbid me from allowing our daughter to go. I told her that's not a decision that she could make. She argued that I should be encouraging a supportive sibling dynamic between the girls, and that it seems like our kids only support each other and not their stepsister, who they've known for more than half their life. My ex told me that I'll be a real a-hole to a 15-year-old girl if I let our daughter go to the party. So am I the a-hole? No, once again, I don't think so. Why should your daughter not be able to go? Because of the actions of the stepdaughter. That's not fair. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. Your daughter is not responsible for the social life of her stepsister. Forbidding her from attending a party that she was invited to is unfair, and that would damage your relationship with her. Your ex-wife needs to address her stepdaughter's social issues separately, not at your daughter's expense. Yeah, I don't feel like that's promoting a sibling dynamic or whatever they said. That's you punishing your daughter when you definitely shouldn't. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Your daughter is her own person. If she wants to go to a party and has your permission and you are her guardian for that period, then you're in the right to allow her to go there. You're not encouraging any sort of bullying or discrimination of your ex's stepdaughter, and you certainly wouldn't be encouraging any supportive sibling dynamics between the girls by punishing your daughter by not letting her go. Yeah, definitely. And OP said, my only concern with the party was, would it be a safe space? It's not going to be the type of party where teens are drinking, and there are enough adults present that I feel good about it. Adults that I trust as well. So yeah, I feel like that would be the only reason for me to say no. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. Am I the a-hole? I exploded at my family after finding out that my uncle is my father, and I don't know how to feel about it. Hello, a throwaway account here. Obviously, I'm male 18, and I think I just experienced the most messed up thing possible in my life. A bit of background, I've been raised by my grandparents for the whole of my life, and they did well, to be honest, despite their advanced ages. I've been told by them early on that I was given up for adoption by some distant cousin. They didn't want to tell me who at first, and that the person doesn't want anything to do with me, so I didn't think much of it. Besides, why would I want to do something with somebody who doesn't want me? Anyway, when I reached 18 like a few weeks ago, my grandparents sat me down with my uncle. I'm not really super close with him, and then proceeded to tell me that he's my father. I was so shocked. I felt like the world was collapsing and I was disoriented. My uncle then started crying and told me the reason why he abandoned me to my grandparents is that he blamed me for the reason that his wife died. Like, what the His wife died giving birth to me and thus he couldn't take it, and with the grief he gave me up to my grandparents. After all of that, it clicked to me why this particular uncle always resembled me so much, or how he always avoided me or acted cold towards me during family functions. Not that he always attended, or how my grandparents always don't speak much of him. It's just so crazy to me. Admittedly, I could not hold my emotions well. I blew up at my grandparents and my uncle for keeping this secret from me, and for my uncle blaming me for the death of his wife. I ran to my room and I locked myself there. My grandpa knocked several times on my room, but I kept on calling them not nice names, so they left me alone eventually. It's been a few weeks now since it happened and my uncle is nowhere to be seen. Good riddance though, but my grandma said that I could have at least understood his position and that he wanted to rekindle the father-son relationship. I said hell no, but I don't know what to think anymore. So Redditor, am I the a-hole for blowing up at my grandparents and uncle for this, and for not wanting to form a relationship with him? I don't even know what to think anymore. Wow, that's so unbelievable. But are you the a-hole? No, of course not. You're telling me that you've been lied to your whole life, and also your dad blamed you for your mum dying? Yeah, that's so sad. But also, I'm sure it probably was better to be raised by your grandparents than by your dad, considering that he resented you and blamed you for your mum's death. Like, yeah, I'm sure your grandparents did raise you better than your dad would have. All of this crap just happened to you, OP. You had a very reasonable reaction, and yeah, you're definitely not in the wrong. The top comment says, not the a-hole. All three of them, and probably the rest of your extended family, have lied to you for your entire life. They've all had 18 years to tell you the truth, and now they expect you to be fine and accepting when they turn your world on its head. And he blamed you, a child, for the death of your mother and abandoned you to be raised by his parents. Oh, hell no. He's somebody that you barely know and you don't have a close relationship with. Why is he so keen to establish a parental relationship now? Is it because you're legally an adult and he'd no longer be financially responsible for you? Don't let them guilt or push you into a decision. This is not a fairy tale where the truth comes out and everybody plays happy families. They dropped a huge bombshell on you and they need to accept that you need time to process this. My cousin went through something similar. Her biological dad was absent for most of her life, refusing to believe or admit that he was her father, and only started reaching out and acknowledging her when she was 18, as he wouldn't have to pay child support then. It took a long time and a lot of soul searching for her to accept him, and even now they're not close, but they're on speaking terms. The comment below that says, to be fair, if he knew that he would resent his child, it was a better choice to let OP's grandparents raise him than doing that himself. OP noticed that he acted weird just during family events. Imagine if he was raising him. Yeah, that's so messed up to resent your own child. Yeah, that's such a messed up situation, but of course, you are so not the a-hole. And after what we've read today, I've got 2 wholesome memes to show you before you go. Why can't I sleep at night? Me 1 hour before I'm supposed to go to sleep. Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? Oh no! I'm up at 2 in the morning. How could that be? Oh, that's right. I drank heaps of caffeine. The same few playlists that I keep playing over and over. Me. Yeah, that's also so true. Like, I've got my little assortment of songs. I love them very much and I'm gonna listen to them forever. That's so funny. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day today goes to Alias KT. 7 minutes and 7 seconds caught me off guard so bad. I've never been more amused at an editing mistake. Yeah, that was so funny. When I found out about that this morning, I was laughing so much. Yeah, once again, sorry about all the jump scares. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for all the support, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!